Roman's got new headphones. He's a year older. We're getting gains.
We're getting them gains.
I squatted 295 for 2 today.
Dang, buddy.
I'm back. My elbow feels good. Knock on wood.
So I saw you post the other day about 275. How much time between when you did 275 and 295?
I need to look at that post now just to fact check me. Do you know the date of that? No?
You don't know. Out this weekend.
November 5th. November 5th. So what was it? How many reps was that? Just one or there was two?
I don't remember. I was just like,
ooh, 3.
Antoine's getting after it.
So yeah, I hit 275 November 5th, and then today is November 20th. So about 15 days in between. I had all of the almighty strength. Honestly, I felt really good today, and I went for it. I also tried to go for a 270 bench, which I haven't really bench heavy in a while, and I could have got it, but the dang, we should do another episode on this. But the dang gym is so damn cold. Your boy is wearing 3 layers, still freezing cold, lifting heavy weights. And so what happened was there's too much material on my back, and good thing I had a spotter, but my shoulder slipped a little bit and like unlocked. Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. So I'm happy it wasn't as bad as it could have been, but I could have hit 270 easily. I hit 265 the set before, and I had a spotter, and it felt good. And then but so short rant. If you're a gym owner, if you work at a gym, the gym needs to be warm. Why do we need it to be warm? People need to sweat. Also, people need to be warm for their workouts so they reduce injury. Jesus. I mean,
I'm so bad. I'm so bad because that would be when Gainz Nation opens a gym. When we do that, buddy, that'll be me. I'm such a temperature czar. Like I'm always going in. Like this morning, like I got like downstairs at like 4 a.m. Sorry, Shay baby. You know, I go up to the thermostat. I'm just like, just 1 degree lower. I'm so bad.
But isn't that crazy though? Like I feel like so I'll give you an example. My in-laws have a basement gym. Gainz Nation's seen the posts. We used to work out there during COVID, and Roman's got a basement gym too. I kid you not, I had a hoodie on, just maybe a shirt underneath, and a hat on, and I was actually sweating in their basements. And it was actually colder in the gym I go to than a basement, which like they close their vents to the heat to the basement because it's not a living basement. So it's an unfinished basement. So why would they put heat towards the basement than the first and second floor? So it's crazy. Like your basement's probably warmer than my gym because like I'm in there and I'm talking, man, it's like, and then I was talking to a gym member today and he was like, he goes, man, you're so damn skinny. I'm like, then why is everyone in here so damn fat? That was my response back. I was like, why is everyone so damn fat? Why is it gotta be so cold in here? Like, geez Louise. Like they pay, I mean, the members pay like $30 a month, times that by how many people, and it's a government recreational center since it's through the village. So they got money to heat that place. I'm telling you right now, they got money.
Buddy, it's tight budgets. They're running cost overruns. They're cutting people's hours. They're trying to like keep that place to the bare minimum, 55 degrees, just so they can cash in on the insurance check.
And I kid you not, on Saturdays, because I don't know who's working there, they turn on the fans. My goodness, I'm sitting there. I'm like, I'm trying to work out and try to like, cause the fan will like oscillate. I'm just going the opposite way every time the whole time. Trying to get out of the fan zone.
Dripping from your nose.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like, but hey, I guess I'm a different breed. I like to sweat hard when I'm working out. I mean, when we were in Arizona, we were at the outdoor gym when it was 115 degrees. I love that. Gyms were meant, and I don't care what you say, whatever fitness you're in, you need to be sweating. Like, you don't need to be killing yourself. You don't need to go to, like, I'm not in there. I'm doing almost 300 pounds on squat. And I was telling my wife, I was like, I'm working up to 295 today, and I'm freezing still. Like, I just did like 5 or 6 warm up sets, and I'm still freezing over here, walking back and forth just to keep my heart rate elevated.
What's the body fat looking like
I,
nowadays?
you know what? It's not as low. I mean, I don't even know if I could. You could maybe see 1 or 2 abs, maybe
Okay, okay, okay. I
on a
was
good
wondering
day.
if you're just low body fat. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just weigh 20. I just weigh 205, which is, I mean, honestly, 205. I mean, it's pretty much been like that for like a while now. I'll go look at my Fit Genie, which I still use Fit Genie. I
Nice.
don't record my food anymore on here. I just record my weight. So the year markings, right? So from, let's just say, since August, right? Maybe July. July to now, I've been pretty much 204 to 207. It just, so yeah.
I
So
feel
good
like
5 months.
I feel like ever since even the marathon a couple years ago, you've been hovered around 200 plus or minus 10 pounds.
Yeah, yeah. I did. My fat bud got up to 211, 213. So
Okay.
that was the heaviest I got, was 213 after the marathon.
Yeah.
Because I was like 195 to 200 pounds during the marathon training. Um, but your boy is gonna get 400-pound squat by next year. I'll tell you that right now. I don't care about the weight. Honestly, if I could lose like 2 or 3 more pounds and squat 400 pounds, I bet I could do that.
Damn.
I
Let's
bet.
go.
Gainz Nation, put me to the test. I will I will I will push that thing out. I will squat my head off. Because I was able to get to like 345, and it didn't feel that heavy. So yes, I know it's another 55 pounds. Don't need to do the math.
Wait, you had
55
a
pounds.
single? You had a single
Yeah,
at 345?
yeah,
Damn, buddy.
yeah.
Okay, let's go. Respect.
So so we'll see. I think next year, I'd say I was gonna try doing something close to 400 this year, but because of my elbow, I'll be happy to start repping over 300 again. That's it. I think I'll just be humble about it. Eat some humble pie. But how's everything
Buddy.
working out with you, buddy?
Good. I think one of the like the reasons why I wanted to have
Are you
like this
still
podcast.
are you still on the lower end because you did that mini cut or what?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like somewhere around 155. I like never weigh myself, but like I jumped on the scale last week with like all my clothes on, shoes on. I was like 160. I think I was like, oh no, like what happened? Um,
You said
so I
160 or 168?
160. So I think I'm like I'm probably like in the mid 150s right now. I thought I was closer to like 162 or something along those lines. Um, but my freaking groin issue is like kind of flared back up the past couple weeks now. So I've just been like, I was on such a like a good I've been meaning to post this because like I did that like little mini cut. I kind of want to show
Yeah, we
Gates
wanted
Nation
to see pictures, measurements, and everything.
exactly. I didn't do measurements per usual. I'm always like, oh, I'm gonna do them, and then I like don't
He
end
did
up
measurements
ever
of,
doing them.
never mind,
And
of his
there's
biceps, of course.
not much to measure, you know. Yeah, biceps. But yeah, the progress was going so well, man. Like September, October, I was actually just like going through some photos before I jumped on with you. And I was like, yeah, like man, the gains were coming along, blah blah blah, all this stuff. But yeah, the like the groin's really been bothering me recently, like so much so that I'm like, I think next year I'm gonna consider surgery. So it's like I
Yeah.
hate that I like kind of come to that point, but yeah, it's been
Well, we
really
had well,
bothering
we
me.
had someone that went through that, and I don't think the recovery was that bad. And I mean,
Huh.
look at Alex now. I mean, I mean, I mean, if his growing was that bad, I mean, he deadlifted 500 pounds. So, but I think he's a little bit heavier than you. I think he's probably closer to the 180s.
Yeah.
Maybe 185 ish.
I just want to get back to doing things that I normally do without like the constant pain, to be honest with you. It's still like low grade, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, some days it goes up to a 3, to be honest with you. And for it to always be there, it's like
Yeah.
so irksome, you know? So I'm just like, man, I've been dealing with it almost 3 years now. And I'm like, I kind of
Yeah.
want to just get back to like being able to do things without like being like, I'll still push, like I'm going to play. The goal is to play a game of pickup football with some buddies next week. And if I do that, like afterwards, I'm going to be miserable. Like I'm not going to tell anybody, but like I'm going to be in a good amount of pain. My whole like hip girdle's going to be like killing me. I'll be
You're not
limping
even gonna
around
be
the
able to
house.
sit stand as good. You're not even gonna be able to sit and stand as well.
Yep. So, but I'll still do it to myself, So yeah, it's frustrating, but it's kind of part of the journey, to be honest with you. So you get to a point where it's like you try to make the best like health decisions for yourself, like in the here and now, but also for the future. And then for me, it's just kind of gotten to a point where I don't know. I guess I'm just sick of like it being that way. But I also I'm so like adverse to going like under the knife. I know it's like arthroscopic and all that stuff, like 3 tiny little like several millimeter like incisions and blah blah, blah all this stuff, like high success rate. This is a decent part of the country to have it done because like Massachusetts has unbelievable healthcare. But I still am just like I still don't, I'm not convinced, but I'm definitely like leaning towards that. But buddy, I can get into a topic if you like.
Yeah, let's do it, Bobby.
All right, sick. So I texted Antoine the other day. I was thinking about like some of these like variables that we'll talk about, but came up with a concept of adaptive training strategies. So it's like, ooh, Gainz Nation, this sounds fun. What are we talking about? So just like the story that was kind of going a little bit into like in depth, giving a little bit of like personal like injury history for myself. That is like one of those variables that has to be taken into account, whether it's for yourself when it comes to training in life, or whether it's for your client. So I deem this adaptive training strategies. So there's a few variables in particular that I'd like to talk about today, but there's many more that we're probably going to forget about, and we'll probably
And
or
add
just
on
not have.
to it, and add on to it to another time.
Yeah, we might just not have time for it exactly. So one of those is a time actually. So I I'll often look at like my goals for the day for like a workout, for example. My hip right now. So uh, I'll give you 2 adaptive training strategies that I implemented today. One, afternoons have been really hard to get workouts in because that's when my wife is home from work. I've been trying to tend to her more for reasons that I'll probably talk to you about in the new year. Um, so for those reasons, it's been very hard to get a workout in the afternoon. And I love working out. It's part of like who I am, what I like to do. It helps to center me, blah blah. Like I like working on myself, especially like in the gym, or it can be like at home. So I've been trying to. I wake up ridiculously early, like 3:34 in the morning. So I'll wake up at 4. I got up at 4 this morning, and I just walked on the treadmill for like 10-15 minutes. And I'm looking at the time. It was my wife's one of her few days off in the week. So usually we have a busy household. Let's just put it that way. So I'm very loud when I talk, and I'm very spirited when I talk. Um, so my brother and I, we'll be talking about politics, religion, all the things that you're not supposed to talk about, right? And we get into it, man. Like we'll have a heated
Or
debate.
or or Roman's. I'll throw this in there. Roman's a little bit louder when he wakes up earlier than everyone else and starts snacking before we go hiking at the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. And so literally
as
so
I
bad.
as I'm waking up, I hear Roman housing like just food in the corner, like and a cup of coffee.
I'm like waking up my ex. I'm waking up Sam. I'm waking up Antoine. Like I had the light on, but like I think I tried to crack the door and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, oh
So
yeah.
like
No,
I got
I
like
mean
my
it's just no.
caffeine that
I
I'm
just I just
drinking.
make the joke because like I remember you were already ready to go. You're like, okay, you guys whatever you're ready, I'm good.
Buddy, it's so bad. So I was like, um, so it's Shay Baby's day off. So I'm like, all right, like gotta be quiet. Can't be quiet in the house. That means we gotta leave. All right, we'll do a sunrise walk. So get some like exercise in, blah blah blah. Like get some like sun rays in my eyes, all this stuff. Vitamin D, get that whole thing going. I was like, I'll invite my brother. So sunrise is like 6:38 here. Plus or minus a couple minutes or whatnot. Don't hold me to that, Games Nation. It's a small detail of this podcast. Um, so I was like, all right, well, usually get first light about 30 minutes beforehand. So I want to be out of the house by like 5:45. I want to eat breakfast as like a post-workout meal. That'll be my first meal of the day. Usually I do about like 4 to 5 meals a day. Um, I was like, all right, so I'd probably have until about like 5:15 to 5:20. I didn't start like walking on the treadmill until about like 4:45. So I was like, probably only have like 20 minutes to lift. I've been like implementing a lot of like protective lifting strategies. So I might be doing um like single leg exercises for legs. So I might do like leg extension just so it's like not as much weight. I don't like have like the urge, which I don't really do it anymore, but like sometimes I'll like catch myself if I'm not being very mindful in the set of like, using the Valsalva maneuver, etc., to get, squeak out a couple extra reps, blah, blah, blah. So it's very limited in time. So one of the strategies or adaptive training strategies that I'll implement is supersets. So because I don't have as much time, I have to rely more on like the buildup of metabolites in the muscles. So sometimes it'll be like agonist supersets, or sometimes it'll be agonist antagonist. So what does that mean? Like an example, I did shoulders yesterday. Literally, I did a couple sets of lateral raises and a couple of sets of band pull parts in my basement, and I stretched. It was literally like 4 to 6 sets, like super, like the bare minimum, but like that's the time that I had because I had a lot going on that morning. So I like committed to myself. I'm doing arms this morning. I'm gonna hit up my arms, gonna get a nice little arm pump, you know what I'm saying? So I got like the 10-15 minute walk in on the treadmill. I did a little bit of warm up with some like farmers carries, etc., to try to like warm up the hips, see if that helps that area not feel like my insides are tearing out of my groin. So I do all that stuff. An antagonist, agonist, or agonist, antagonist superset would be an example. I did some dumbbell curls, literally 10 pounds. Like I can dumbbell curl like 30 pounds with like pretty good form, a little bit of like sway and whatnot. It's like 10 pounds, and I like put it over my head for like overhead tricep extension, for example. That's what's referred to as an agonist antagonist or antagonist agonist superset. An agonist superset would be an example of, let's say I wanted to do 4 sets of curls, for example. I do the first set of dumbbell curls, right? Just standard dumbbell curls. Then I grab a barbell. Ooh, got a barbell. Ooh, and I do the barbell curls right after that. That would be what's known as an agonist superset. Okay, so you get a couple of tricks you can put in your toolkit there, Gainz Nation. So supersets. I love supersets for this situation. I am not trying to go to failure. So I'm leaving many reps in the tank. Remember, I'm implementing what I call protective lifting strategies so that my inside organs aren't popping out of my hip girdle. Okay. You don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that. So short on time, but I want to get a workout in. I'll implement different training, adaptive training strategies such as supersets. Another thing is like a drop set, or you could call it
like a pyramid set too.
Yeah, yep. So you could build up. So you could do like the 10s, for example, 10 reps. You do 15s, 8 reps, 20s for 6 reps, 25, 4 reps, 30s for 2 reps, like whatever you have. So like get creative with it.
Yeah, and
For
real
example,
quickly,
yeah.
I think Mike Israetel also. I was watching a video. is one of the critique videos where I think it was Michael B. Jordan, and Michael B. Jordan was talking about like those building reps where he would do like light reps first, then like a lot of reps. So like the opposite of what you're saying, like let's say like 8 was the base, 8, then 10, then 12, then 14, 16. And then Mike Israetel suggested like to do the opposite. So you would want to start off with like, say if 20 reps was that goal. So you do the 20 reps first, then 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8. Because like say if like you want to get close to fatigue first instead of like building that way up because you're just losing so much. You're leaving so much in the tank. Um,
Also, also from a preparedness, like a mental preparedness, but also a physical preparedness, like the biology of our joints and our muscles and our tendons, ligaments, for example, they need to have certain enzymatic processes going on. So if I did like 10 or 20 reps of 10 pounds on the dumbbells, I might get like a little bit of like, I mean, I could probably keep going for another 30 reps, right? Like just picture a weight that you can do 50 reps on. But like you're gonna get some buildup of metabolites. So what's going on is like the actual ability for the muscles to contract and relax. There's more gliding going on. So the intramuscular and the extracellular matrix. So all the fluids that are essentially gliding in and out of those areas, like your muscles, for example, let's say like the bicep belly, um, and the literal warming of the tissue causes an expansion of that part of your arm. So not just the bicep muscle itself, but like the outer part of the bicep muscle, the tendon, the ligament. Um, so it's quite literally swelling, and that's what you want. Like that's a good thing because there's all these byproducts from all the actions that you're taking, like all these calcium ions that are essentially like trying to get out of this like this junction, right? We don't have to go into like the details. I'd probably even have to brush up on it because I'm very rusty on that. But take our word for it, Gainz Nation. And then you drop or you build to a higher weight, but less reps. So you're essentially exposing yourself to, I would say, a lower injury risk protocol. You're warming that muscle up, and you're able to get closer to that fatigue just by the sheer volume that you're lifting, as opposed to the weight itself. If you've ever tried to lift like super heavy, like I could probably do a couple of strict curls with 40-pound dumbbells. It doesn't feel good. Like my joints hate it. Like my elbows, like, why did you do that? That was stupid. You know what my joints really like 17 and a half, 20, 25. They love that shit. They're like, give me some more, baby. Like I'm growing over here. Okay. So the point being is it's like there's kind of that sweet spot with like which like bodybuilders have been on for the longest time, right? Like they'll talk about like, oh, this is like the max, this is like the rep range to get the hugest muscles. That was my quasi attempt to do an Arnold. Sorry, I don't think I like represented you as I should have. But like that 8 to 12 rep range, like that's a cool range. I'm not saying like, you 12, you stop. Like oftentimes I'm getting like 17, 18, 19, 20. But all the way up to 30, like pretty good. If you go above 30, hey, that's fine. But it's like my question is, if I ever get to that point, I'm like, why am I lifting so light? Like I can go up in weight.
yeah.
So there's that time component there. So I think we're getting close to time. So the adaptive training strategies we talked about are time. So some things that you can throw in if you're short on time are the supersets, drop sets. Be mindful about recovery. So I'm in my early 30s. I still recover pretty decent when my hip isn't being a jerk to me, or I should say my groin. But like back in the day, even when I first moved to Chicago, when I was getting back into lifting, like I would do drop sets and all this stuff. Like I can't do it the same way as I used to. I'd be like balls to the wall, like failure every set. No, I wouldn't do that anymore. Like I only do that like when I'm feeling good. Like every few weeks will I take a true set to like RPE 10. Most of the time I'm probably like in the RPE 6 to 8, 6 to 9 range. Like I'm almost always leaving a rep in the tank. More it's as like an adaptive training strategy, trying to be mindful of my injury history, for example. But I'm also trying to be mindful of recovery. So time's a big one, and you can implement certain strategies like superset and drop sets. An adaptive strategy around injury history. As I mentioned, I haven't been able to squat in the past like 2.5, almost 3 years. I've done it intermittently. You've seen me do it, but like the most I did was like 135 by 10 pounds. That sucks. Like I was getting close to repping out 315 at my peak while I was in Chicago. I can't do that anymore because of my injury history. So instead, what I've done, I've switched to like doing Bulgarian split squats. I'll do like one leg extensions, one leg ham curls, one leg seated curls. It's fine with doing calf raises. I'll even grab like a 30-pound dumbbell and just like crank those puppies out. Go slow on the eccentric and hold the eccentric. Allow that elastic energy to dissipate. You'll get some huge calf gains, Gainz Nation. Trust me. So those are some adaptive training strategies I'll use in regards to injury history. And then one more I want to talk about, Antoine, kind of get your thoughts on this, is equipment and space. So oftentimes when I work out in my basement, like I don't have like that good new technology when it comes to like health and fitness. So what do I have? Like I have bands. So as opposed to like doing like a cable pull apart, which I love doing in my gym, I'm going to do a banded pull apart. And guess what? It works pretty stinking well. So what do I like to do when I do that? So, okay, you're in a similar situation. You're like, I got bands, but Dr. like Mike Isatel says like, I can't get gains. Dr. Mike, you can get gains. You just have to be mindful. So I'm huge about the stretch causing gains. So causing the type of stimulus we need for hypertrophy. So let's say we're in the 8 to 12 rep range. It can be as high as 20 plus. I try not to, if I'm below 8, I actually tend to like, I'll drop the weight, less tension band, etc. So we're going to take the pull apart, for example, okay? How much tension is on the rear delt here? If like, let's say the fulcrum is here, okay? There's no tension on the band. That means there's not much stimulus going to the rear delt. There's about maximal tension and stimulus to the rear delt here. What I would do is this phase here, I'd really slow down. So here's what this looks like when I do a banded rear delt at home. So hopefully you caught that. When I'm at the maximal tension, brief pause. It doesn't have to be this long. So it's like, I'm gonna really milk this out, really milk this part out here. So the eccentric on the way back, because we have a lot of tension that's on the rear delt, less tension, less tension, less tension. Not as important this phase here. Still do it, still execute it with a high level of competency, but where I believe there's the most growth potential for the band is in this space.
Like the 100 to 50%, 100% to 50%.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I wouldn't advocate that you just stay here though. You have to be able to exercise this joint in a full range of motion. Why? Because there might be a situation where you're playing ball with the boys. You go to catch one-handed grab like that.
And your rear delt falls out.
Exactly. You have to be able to exercise that muscle through that full range of motion. But I think when we're being smart and thinking about the tools and the equipment that we have in that one brief example, we have maximal tension here and we're getting an enormous amount of benefits up until we get to that 50% where there's not that much tension. You can feel it here, not that much tension. Still go through the motion of coming all the way back, no tension, deep breath in, controlled, concentric. Buddy, what do you think?
No, I think it's great. I mean, you mentioned a lot of things. I mean, with the supersets part, I mean, the only thing I would say is I would do agonist, antagonist instead of like agonist. I just like that better because of the recovery and being able to do more, even though you could do more with the same, muscle group or the same movement. I just don't think it's worth it. I mean, like I was just doing chest the other day, and I was doing chest flies with the dumbbells, and I hate doing chest flies with the dumbbells, but the machine's always taken. So I had to do dumbbells, and I never like the position's so bad for me. I barely feel it. So I did superset with a set of push-ups in between just to feel the chest a little bit more, and just like milk push-ups. So I guess if you're in that position, I would say do it. Um, Otherwise, I don't really like doing it. Like I would never suggest a dumbbell curl with a barbell curl. Like that just seems like you should just finish the dumbbell curl and then did something else. But like I said, that's my opinion on it. And then like what Roman was saying with the bands and stuff, like he has the opportunity to change the tension. But if you're hitting, you know, walls of 50 reps, be mindful of your time, because then if you want to grow onto that, you might have to add a set. And then how long will 50 reps sets take you to the point where either you're bored, your head's not into it, or you're just like taking so much damn time where you're like, your wife or your husband is like, dude, you just have been doing pull aparts. Like, why are you taking 10 minutes to do like pull aparts? Like that just seems like you should be squatting or benching, or deadlifting or doing something like farmer walks. That's more beneficial for you in the long run.
Or
But
holding the
that's a
baby.
yeah, or yeah, doing something around the house, which was cool. We actually did the first family workout with the two kids and my wife last week. So my wife just got cleared, so we just started doing that, and we'll bring them to my in-laws and then work out in the basement. So both of them could see and stuff. So it's pretty cool doing that once in a while. And yeah, hopefully we can get a home gym eventually at our house. But their house, they got our barbell and our plates and stuff. So, but yeah, that's my 2 cents. That was great, Roman. But thank you guys for listening, watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.